Dinner drama, Christmas chaos unleashed. Hey there, YouTube fam. Buckle up, because I've got a Christmas story that'll make your ugly sweaters look tame. Picture this. A peaceful family dinner, the scent of roasted turkey in the air, and then, bam! Your girl here jumps up and shouts, "Shut the F up about my body," at the top of her lungs. Oh yeah, it happened. And trust me, it gets even juicier. You won't believe the reaction from my body-shaming husband or how my in-laws' jaws hit the floor faster than Santa down a chimney. This holiday feast turned into a festive fiasco that puts your aunt's overcooked ham to shame. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, the awkward moment connoisseur, back at it again with another cringeworthy tale that'll make you say, "Thank goodness that wasn't me." Today's special? A Christmas dinner disaster with all the trimmings. On the menu, we've got a main course of body shaming, generously seasoned with family drama, and a side of passive-aggressive comments that'll make your eyes roll so hard, you'll see your own brain. And for dessert, a heaping portion of Am I the A-hole analysis that'll leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about family dynamics. So grab your favorite snack, settle in, and let's dive into this holiday horror show. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll either be calling your therapist or hugging your drama-free family extra tight. All right, let's rewind a bit. Picture this. I'm a new mom, right? I've got this adorable little nugget of joy, and I'm feeling pretty darn proud of what my body just accomplished. I mean, hello? I grew a whole human. But apparently my dear husband didn't get the memo that women's bodies don't just snap back like a rubber band. So, for months, and I'm talking since the day I popped out our son, my loving husband started playing this fun little game called Let's Make Indirect Comments About My Wife's Body. Oh joy. He'd say things like, "Oh, that top used to look good on you, but not anymore though." Or he'd look at my waist and go, "Wow, didn't know your waist could get this wide." Real charmer, right? And the best part? He called these little gems his observations. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I tried to ignore it. I mean, maybe he was just adjusting to the changes, right? But then, then he decided to extend his observation services to our friends and family. Because nothing says, "I love you," like pointing out your wife's body changes to everyone you know. Fast forward to Christmas Day. We're at his family's home, all decked out in our holiday best. I'm wearing this gorgeous floral maxi dress, feeling like $1,000,000 for the first time in forever. My sister-in-law, bless her heart, compliments me on it. And then, my dear husband opens his mouth.
"I agree. It looks nice on you."
Oh, how sweet. But wait, there's more. Though I have to admit that your waist could get smaller than this. Cue the awkward silence. You could hear a Christmas ornament drop. I swear, even the turkey on the table was like, dude, not cool. Now, folks, I'd like to say I handled this with grace and poise. That I calmly explained to my husband why his comments were hurtful. That I used "I feel" statements, and we had a productive discussion about body image and postpartum changes. But nope, this mama bear had reached her limit. Months of observations, passive-aggressive comments, and now this? In front of his entire family? On Christmas? I stood up, my chair scraping against the floor like the world's most dramatic sound effect. I took a deep breath, channeled my inner Mariah Carey high note, and shouted, "Shut the F up about my body!" Yep, you heard that right. I censored myself here, but dropped the full F-bomb at the family dinner in front of everybody. So what happened next? Well, it wasn't pretty. My husband? Absolutely speechless. His family? Staring at me like I just announced I was running away to join the circus. Some tried to calm me down, but let me tell you, when you've been bottling things up for months, there's no putting that genie back in the bottle. The dinner? Over faster than you can say awkward family photo. My husband? Oh, he stormed off to his friend's place faster than Rudolph on Red Bull. But not before leaving me a lovely text message. According to him, I'd embarrassed him, made a scene over a simple observation, and get this, I needed therapy for my insecurities. Oh, and apparently, I had verbally abused him and scared his family. Because clearly, months of body-shaming comments are totally fine, but heaven forbid I stand up for myself. Now here's where things get tricky. In the aftermath of Christmas Dinnergate, I started to doubt myself. Did I overreact? Was I too sensitive? Should I have just smiled and nodded like I had been doing for months? I mean, I ruined Christmas dinner. I yelled in front of my in-laws. I censored myself, but still, dropping an F-bomb at Christmas dinner isn't exactly in the holiday spirit, is it? But then I think about all those months of comments, the way my confidence was chipped away bit by bit. The fact that my husband thought it was okay to comment on my postpartum body, not just to me, but to others. So here I am, turning to you, my YouTube family. Am I the a-hole here? Did I take things too far? Or was this justifiable given the circumstances? The grand finale. Am I wrong here, or am I the hero? All right, folks, let's break this down like a gingerbread house after New Year's. We've got months of body-shaming comments from my husband, a particularly nasty comment at Christmas dinner, my admittedly dramatic response, a ruined family dinner, a husband who thinks I need therapy for standing up for myself. Now, let's talk about my dear husband's behavior. Commenting on someone's body? Not cool. Doing it repeatedly for months? Even less cool. Doing it in front of family at Christmas dinner? That's like North Pole levels of not cool. So what's the verdict? Was I the jerk for ruining Christmas dinner? Or was I the hero who finally stood up to months of body shaming? Here's my take. While my delivery might have been a bit explosive, the message was long overdue. My body created life, and instead of support, I got criticism. Instead of love, I got observations. And let's be real, there's only so much a person can take before they snap like a dry Christmas tree branch. But here's the thing, this isn't just about me. It's about all of us who've ever felt pressured about our bodies, who've endured well-meaning comments that cut deep. It's about standing up for ourselves, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it ruins Christmas dinner. So, am I wrong here? Could I have handled it better? Probably. But am I sorry for finally standing up for myself? Not on your life. Now it's your turn. I want to hear your wildest family dinner stories. Did you ever have a meltdown over the mashed potatoes? Throw a turkey leg at your annoying cousin? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because trust me, with my family, there's bound to be more drama coming your way. Until next time, remember, your body is nobody's business but your own, and if anyone tells you different, well, you have my permission to channel your inner Christmas chaos. Peace out, YouTube fam.
A shocking discovery that shattered trust. I never thought I'd be that guy. You know, the one who finds something he shouldn't and ends up in a whirlwind of drama. But here I am, standing in front of my fiancé's closet, holding a box that's about to turn my world upside down. Let me tell you, folks, when they say don't go looking for trouble, they really mean don't go looking in your fiancé's closet. Trust me on this one. Hey there, YouTube. I'm Jake, your average guy who thought he had it all figured out. Decent job, great friends, and a beautiful fiancé. Or so I thought. Buckle up, because this story is wilder than a roller coaster designed by a drunk engineer. Picture this. It's 2 weeks before the wedding. I'm looking for my lucky tie in Sarah's closet. You know, the one I wore on our first date. Instead, I find a box. Not just any box, mind you. This thing was more suspicious than a cat sitting next to a broken vase. Now, I'm not usually the snooping type, but this box, it was practically screaming, "Open me, Jake." What's the worst that could happen? Spoiler alert, a lot. A lot could happen. So grab your popcorn, folks. This tale has more twists than a pretzel factory. We're talking hidden pasts, French business trips, and an ex-boyfriend who's more persistent than a telemarketer. Ready? Let's dive in. I open the box and bam, it's like I've stumbled into the X-rated version of Sarah's greatest hits. Videos, messages, photos, you name it. And let me tell you, it wasn't a PG-13 show. Now, I'm not a prude. We all have pasts. But this was like finding out your sweet grandma used to be a WWE wrestler. Shocking, impressive, and slightly disturbing all at once. So, what do you do when you find out your fiancé's past is spicier than a ghost pepper? Couples counseling, of course. Because nothing says, "I love you," like paying a stranger to listen to your relationship problems. Our therapist, let's call her Dr. Obvious, had some great advice. Communication is key, she said. Yeah, no kidding. I was thinking more along the lines of time travel is key, but I guess we work with what we've got. Just when I thought we were getting somewhere, Sarah drops a bombshell. She's going on a business trip to France. Now, I'm no geography expert, but I'm pretty sure the Eiffel Tower isn't the only thing that's going to be erected on this trip.
Oh, Jake, it's just business.
Sure, and I'm the Queen of England. Ding. Oh look, a message from Sarah's ex-boyfriend. Because apparently, he didn't get the memo that we're engaged. And what's this? A new video. Oh joy, it's like Christmas came early. Except instead of presents, I got a stocking full of trust issues. Turns out, Sarah's business trip was more of a busyness trip, if you know what I mean. That French connection was more connected than my Wi-Fi. So here I am, newly married, with a pregnant wife who's been playing Hide the Baguette in Paris. Now we're playing everyone's favorite game show. Who's the daddy? I decided to wait until the baby's born for the big reveal. Because why rush? It's not like I'm dying of anticipation or anything. Nope, not at all. Folks, sometimes love stories don't end with happily ever after. Sometimes they end with happily, I'm out of here. After the baby was born, spoiler alert, it's mine. I decided it was time to rewrite my ending. Divorce. It's like marriage, but with better lawyers and worse feelings. But here's the twist. I'm still in this kid's life. Because being a dad is more important than being right. So now I'm learning the art of co-parenting. It's like a three-legged race, but the other person is your ex, and the finish line is your kid's 18th birthday. So, what did we learn from this marital misadventure? Well, for starters, always check the closet before you propose. And maybe invest in a good private investigator. Or better yet, just communicate with your partner. Novel idea, I know. Am I wrong here? Life's gonna throw you curveballs. Sometimes those curveballs come in the form of hidden boxes in closets. But hey, if you can't laugh at life's absurdities, what can you laugh at? If you enjoyed this roller coaster of a story, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, my life is a constant stream of comedic gold. Or at least, that's what I tell myself to sleep at night. Got your own tale of relationship woes? Drop it in the comments. Let's create a support group for people who've been there, done that, and got the emotional baggage to prove it. Stay tuned for next week's video where I dive into my brief, silent marriage to a mime. Spoiler alert, the silent treatment hits different when it's their job. Until then, this is Jake, reminding you that love is blind, but hindsight is 20/20ths. Peace out, YouTube.
I invested $25,000 in my unemployed boyfriend's dream. Here's what happened after a year. Hey there, YouTube. Ever heard the phrase, love is the best investment? Well, buckle up, because I'm about to take you on a roller coaster ride through my $25,000 investment in what I thought was true love. Spoiler alert, the returns were, let's just say, not quite what I expected. So picture this, me, a hardworking gal with savings burning a hole in my pocket, and my boyfriend, let's call him Dream Chaser Dan. Now, Dan had big dreams and even bigger excuses for why he couldn't hold down a job. But hey, love makes you do crazy things, right? Like, oh, I don't know, investing your life savings in your unemployed boyfriend's pipe dreams? Little did I know that this investment would turn into a year-long adventure that would test my patience, empty my bank account, and ultimately teach me more about myself than I ever bargained for. So grab your popcorn and maybe a calculator, because we're about to dive into the wild tale of how I learned the hard way that sometimes the best investment is in yourself. Now let me paint you a picture of Dream Chaser Dan. This guy had visions. We're talking world-changing, groundbreaking ideas. One day he'd be the next Elon Musk. The next he'd be opening a chain of artisanal pickle shops. I kid you not, at one point he was convinced he'd invented a revolutionary new type of shoelace. And there I was, starry-eyed and supportive. Follow your dreams, I'd say. You can do anything you set your mind to. I was his personal cheerleader, life coach, and soon-to-be financial backer, all rolled into one. So, why did I decide to invest $25,000 in Dan's dreams? Well, let me break it down for you. I was madly in love, or so I thought. I believed in his potential. Oh, the optimism. I wanted to be a supportive partner, enabler. I thought it would jumpstart our future together. Spoiler, it didn't. And let's be honest, I was hoping for a slice of that. Sweet, sweet success pie when he made it big. Looking back, I realize I was basically playing venture capitalist with my heart. And let me tell you, Shark Tank, this was not. At first, it was all excitement and grand plans. We were going to conquer the world together. Dan would work on his latest brilliant idea, and I'd foot the bill for, well, everything. Rent, food, utilities, and don't forget the essentials for his business. like that $500 ergonomic chair that was absolutely necessary for his creative process. But as the months ticked by, things started to shift. The calendar pages kept flipping, but Dan's big break seemed to be stuck in perpetual coming soon mode. Our romantic dinners turned into heated discussions about budgets. Date nights became brainstorming sessions that always ended with me opening my wallet, and don't even get me started on the business trips that suspiciously coincided with his favorite band's tour dates. The financial strain was real, folks. I went from saving for our future to wondering if I could afford ramen for dinner. Meanwhile, Dan was busy networking at coffee shops, spending more on lattes than he was contributing to our household. Now, I'm not one to brag, but I could probably write a book on red flags in relationships, the $25,000 edition. Here's a sneak peek at some of Dan's greatest hits. I'll definitely pay you back once my pickle empire takes off. This $1,000 course on how to be a successful entrepreneur is a necessary business expense. I can't look for a job right now. It'll distract me from my true calling. Why are you so obsessed with money? Don't you believe in my dreams? My frustration grew faster than Dan's list of excuses. I tried everything: gentle encouragement, setting deadlines, even creating a budget, which mysteriously always ended up in the trash. But no matter what I did, Dan always had a reason, an excuse, or a new brilliant idea that was surely going to be the one. Then came the day that made me question everything: my relationship, my decisions, and my sanity. Picture this. I'm exhausted from working overtime to keep us afloat. I come home and there's Dan, lounging on the couch, the one I paid for, playing video games on the console I bought, and he has the audacity to look at me and say, "You know, I'm starting to feel like you're using me for my potential. It's like you're trying to live off my future success." I'm sorry, what? Did he just... Oh, he did. The shock, the disbelief, the sudden urge to laugh hysterically while simultaneously crying, it all hit me at once. It was like being slapped in the face with a wet fish of reality. In that moment, something inside me snapped. Not in a, I'm gonna go crazy way, but in a, I've finally woken up way. All the doubts, all the frustrations, all the sleepless nights worrying about money, it all crystallized into one clear thought: this needs to end. Making the decision to move out and end the relationship was like trying to untangle a pair of headphones that had been in your pocket for a year. Messy, frustrating, and how did it even get this knotted in the first place? Untangling our finances was a nightmare. Turns out, when you've been paying for everything, there's not much to split. I had to face the harsh reality that my $25,000 investment was about as recoverable as a sandcastle at high tide. Emotionally, it was like being on a roller coaster designed by Salvador Dali. Nothing made sense, everything was upside down, and I was pretty sure I was hallucinating half the time. I loved Dan, I really did, but I had to love myself more. So, what did I learn from this $25,000 investment in love? Am I wrong here for being so naive? Let me drop some wisdom on you. Love doesn't pay the bills. Shocking, I know. Dreams are great, but a paycheck is better. At least until the dreams start paying dividends. Supporting someone doesn't mean enabling them. There's a fine line between being supportive and being a human ATM. Financial compatibility is seriously underrated. Nothing kills the mood like constant money stress. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't ignore those red flags. This whole experience was like going back to school, except instead of textbooks, I had overdue bills and my tuition was my life savings. But you know what? I graduated with a PhD in real life. So where do I go from here? Well, first things first, rebuilding my savings account. It's like starting a fitness journey, but instead of lifting weights, I'm lifting my credit score. Rebuilding trust in myself? That's the real challenge. It's like trying to assemble IKEA furniture without instructions. Confusing, frustrating, but ultimately rewarding when you finally get it right. I've learned that financial independence in relationships is crucial. It's like oxygen on an airplane. Secure your own mask first before helping others. Otherwise, you both end up gasping for air. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wow, what a disaster! Is there any good news? Well, hold on to your hats because there actually is. This whole fiasco taught me I'm stronger than I ever knew. I can handle anything life throws at me, even $25,000 mistakes. I'm great at budgeting when it's actually my budget. I've come out of this wiser, more confident, and with some killer stories for first dates. So, ever invested in a pickle empire? And hey, if we're sticking with the investment metaphor, let's just say I've diversified my portfolio. I'm investing in myself now, my career, my passions, my happiness. And let me tell you, the returns are already looking a lot better. So there you have it, folks, my $25,000 adventure in love, loss, and pickles. Remember, sometimes the best investment you can make is in yourself. And maybe, just maybe, double-check someone's business plan before handing over your life savings. Thanks for joining me on this wild ride. If you enjoyed this cautionary tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It's free, which is more than I can say for my last relationship. Until next time, keep your hearts full and your wallets guarded.
Buckle up. Family drama and relationship lessons ahead. Hey there, YouTube fam. Are you ready for some juicy family drama that'll make you cringe, laugh, and maybe even learn a thing or two? Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because I'm about to spill the tea on my son's love life, my wife's helicopter parenting, and how I became public enemy number one in my own household. Trust me, you don't want to miss this roller coaster of a story. So, grab your popcorn, settle in, and let's dive into the question that's tearing my family apart. Am I wrong here for telling my son he deserved to get dumped? Alright, let's set the stage for this comedy of errors. Picture this, a perfectly dysfunctional family consisting of yours truly, the brutally honest dad, my overprotective wife, aka helicopter mom, and our son, let's call him Couch Potato Romeo. Now, throw in a long-distance girlfriend who's way too good for him, and you've got yourself a recipe for disaster. For 2 whole years, this saint of a girlfriend flew back and forth, spending her hard-earned cash and precious vacation days to visit our lazy son. Meanwhile, Romeo couldn't be bothered to lift a finger, let alone board a plane. Spoiler alert, it doesn't end well. But before we get to the juicy breakup, let me walk you through this train wreck of a relationship and how I ended up dropping some tough love that has my family giving me the silent treatment. Let's break down our cast of characters, shall we? First up, we have our leading man, my son, Couch Potato Romeo. His hobbies include Netflix marathons, making excuses, and taking his girlfriend for granted. Then there's frequent flyer Juliet, the long-suffering girlfriend who apparently missed the memo about loving yourself first. Supporting roles go to my wife, helicopter mom, whose mission in life is to keep our precious boy bubble-wrapped and within a 5-mile radius at all times. And lastly, there's me, your narrator and the voice of reason, at least in my own mind. My superpower? Saying what everyone's thinking, but is too afraid to say out loud. Now, let me paint you a picture of this doomed romance. Imagine, if you will, a relationship where one person does all the heavy lifting, or in this case, all the flying. Our dear Juliet, bless her heart, was racking up those frequent flyer miles like it was going out of style. Every month, without fail, she'd touch down in our neck of the woods, ready to shower our son with love and affection. And Romeo's response to this dedication? A half-hearted, thanks for coming, and a pat on the back for good measure. I mean, who needs grand romantic gestures when you can offer the bare minimum? Am I right? Spoiler, I'm not right. Not even close. You might be wondering, why didn't Romeo ever visit his girlfriend? Well, buckle up, because this is where it gets good. See, my wife, in all her infinite wisdom, had convinced our son that airplanes were basically flying death traps. Every time the subject of him visiting his girlfriend came up, it was all, "But honey, what if something happens? And oh, those planes are so dangerous." I tried to be the voice of reason. I really did. I sat them both down and said, "Look, this girl is a catch. She's willing to move to our country, for crying out loud. All she's asking is for Romeo to make an effort and visit her sometimes. Is that really too much to ask?" Apparently it was. Our son, emboldened by his mother's fear-mongering and his own laziness, declared that he was perfectly fine never traveling anywhere. Yeah, you heard that right. Mr. Adventurous over here was content to let his girlfriend do all the work while he enjoyed the comforts of home. Talk about Prince Charming, huh? Fast forward to last week. Romeo drops the bomb. Juliet's dumped him. Cue the violins and pass the tissues, right? Well, not so fast. Being the tech-savvy detective that I am, translation. I know how to use Facebook. I did a little digging. Lo and behold, there's Juliet, happy as a clam with a new guy already. Now, I'm no relationship expert, But it doesn't take a genius to figure out that she probably had one foot out the door for a while. Here's where I might have messed up. Or did I? I decided to share my thoughts with Romeo and my wife. Picture this. Me, standing in our living room, dropping truth bombs like it's my job. I said, and I quote, "Son, I hate to break it to you, but you kind of deserve this. You treated that poor girl like a convenience, not a partner. She spent all her time and money coming here, and you couldn't even be bothered to consider visiting her. I hope you learn from this, because honey, you need to step up your game for the next one." Well, you'd think I'd just announced that I was selling our house and moving us all to Mars. My wife gasped so hard I thought she might inhale the curtains. Romeo's face went through more color changes than a chameleon at a disco. And just like that, I found myself on the wrong side of a family feud. My wife, bless her heart, is acting like I just kicked a puppy. She's all, "How could you be so horrible? And he's heartbroken, and you're making it worse." Meanwhile, Romeo is sulking in his room, probably updating his Facebook status to misunderstood victim of cruel parenting. But here's the thing, am I really wrong? I mean, come on. This kid had a girlfriend who was willing to cross oceans for him, and he couldn't even cross the street without complaining. Someone had to tell him the truth, right? Right? Alright, let's take a moment to break down some lessons here, because Lord knows someone needs to learn something from this mess. Relationships are a two-way street. If your partner is frequently flyer, and you're a frequent sire, you're doing it wrong. Mom's advice isn't always best. Sorry, helicopter mom, but sometimes you gotta let your kids spread their wings, preferably on an actual plane. Effort is sexy. Nothing says I love you quite like, actually making an effort to see the person you claim to love. Fear is the mind killer, and apparently, also the relationship killer. Don't let irrational fears stop you from living your life. Honesty isn't always popular. Sometimes, being the voice of reason means being the voice that everyone wants to mute. The verdict, am I wrong here? So here we are, folks. The dust has settled, but the tension in our house is so thick you could cut it with a knife. On one side, we have Team Couch Potato, consisting of my wife and son, who think I'm the biggest jerk this side of the Mississippi. On the other side, there's me, standing alone on my hill of brutal honesty, wondering if I've taken tough love a step too far. But you know what? I stand by what I said. Sure, maybe my delivery could have used a little more sugar and a little less vinegar. But at the end of the day, I believe I did what any good parent should do. I told my kid the truth, even when it wasn't pretty. Now, I want to hear from you, my dear viewers. Am I wrong here in this family drama? Should I have kept my mouth shut and let Romeo figure it out on his own? Or was I right to drop that truth bomb? Collateral damage be damned? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, while you're at it, why not hit that subscribe button? Trust me, with a family like mine, there's never a shortage of drama to discuss. And stay tuned for our next video, Top 10 Signs You're Dating a Mama's Boy and How to Break Free. Until then, this is your favorite dysfunctional dad, signing off.
The day my family's hidden truth exploded. Hey there, YouTube. Buckle up because I'm about to take you on a wild ride through the craziest family drama you've ever heard. Picture this. One day, you're just a normal college student trying to make ends meet. The next, you're uncovering a shocking family betrayal that'll make your jaw drop. That's right, folks. I'm talking about the day I discovered my parents had spent my entire college fund on my little sister's luxuries. But hold on to your seats, because that's just the beginning. What happened next? Let's just say it involves some badass grandparents, a real estate twist, and the sweetest revenge you could imagine. Ready to dive into this roller coaster of emotions? Let's go. What's up, everyone? I'm Alex, your friendly neighborhood broke college student, or at least I was. Trust me, I'm as shocked as you are about how this all turned out. So, here's the deal. This isn't just your run-of-the-mill family squabble. We're talking about a tale of two sisters, one disappearing college fund, and enough drama to fuel a whole season of your favorite reality TV show. Now, I know what you're thinking. Alex, why should I care about your family drama? Well, my friends, by the end of this video, you'll be reaching for your phone to call your grandparents and thank them for being the unsung heroes they are. Trust me on this one. Oh, and did I mention there's a plot twist involving real estate? Yeah, it's that kind of story. So, grab your popcorn, settle in, and prepare to have your mind blown. All right, let's rewind a bit. Picture me, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to take on the world of higher education. I had it all planned out. I was going to study engineering at my dream school, graduate with honors, and land that cushy job at a top tech firm. I'd worked my butt off in high school, acing those AP classes, captaining the debate team, and even volunteering at the local animal shelter. You know, the whole enchilada that colleges love. And the cherry on top? My awesome grandparents had set up a college fund for me when I was born. I was set, or so I thought. Fast forward to my sophomore year of college. I'm knee-deep in assignments, surviving on ramen noodles and working part-time at the campus bookstore. You know, living that glamorous college life. Then, out of the blue, my parents drop a bombshell. "Sorry, sweetie," they say. "We can't afford to keep paying for your tuition. You'll have to take out loans or find another way." Wait, what? What happened to my college fund? The one my grandparents had so lovingly set up? The one that was supposed to cover all 4 years? That's when things started to get fishy. My parents were vague about the details, muttering something about unexpected expenses and tough economic times. But here's the kicker. While I'm over here contemplating dropping out or selling a kidney to pay for school, my little sister Lily is living her best life. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Lily. She's my baby sister, after all. But while I'm scrounging for quarters to do laundry, Lily's posting Instagram stories from her second trip to Paris that year. And it doesn't stop there. New designer clothes every week, a brand spanking new car for her 16th birthday, private tennis lessons, the list goes on. Something wasn't adding up, and I was determined to get to the bottom of it. Remember those awesome grandparents I mentioned? Well, they're about to become the heroes of this story. During a family dinner, which I almost missed because I was working an extra shift, Grandma Betty noticed something was off. Maybe it was the bags under my eyes, or the way I longingly eyed the leftovers, mentally calculating how many meals I could stretch them into.
Alexandra, dear, you look exhausted. Is everything all right with school?
That's when the dam broke. I spilled everything, the mysterious disappearance of my college fund, the struggle to stay in school, the ramen-based diet. And let me tell you, I've never seen my sweet cookie-baking grandmother turn into such a fierce mama bear. What followed was an epic confrontation that would put any daytime soap opera to shame. Grandma and Grandpa tag-teamed my parents, demanding answers. And boy, did the truth come out. Turns out, my dear parents had been dipping into my college fund for years to finance Lily's extravagant lifestyle. Those Paris trips? My tuition money. The new car? Yep, you guessed it, courtesy of my future. They justified it by saying Lily needed the confidence boost and that I was smart enough to get scholarships. Because nothing says, "I believe in you," like draining your college fund, right? Now, here's where the story takes a turn that not even Night Shyamalan could have seen coming. My grandparents, bless their hearts, weren't about to let this injustice stand. They had one more ace up their sleeve. Remember how I mentioned real estate earlier? Well, it turns out that my grandparents still owned the deed to the house my family was living in. A house that my parents thought they'd inherited years ago. In a plot twist for the ages, my grandparents transferred the deed of the house to me. That's right, folks. Your girl went from broke college student to property owner in the blink of an eye. Suddenly, I had options. I could force my parents to pay rent to help cover my tuition, of course, or I could ask them to leave altogether. Talk about a power shift. But don't worry, I'm not completely heartless. I didn't kick them out, yet. Let's just say we're having some very interesting family discussions about budgeting, respect, and the importance of keeping promises. Ooh, what a ride, right? Let's recap this wild journey. Broke college student uncovers family betrayal. Little sister's lavish lifestyle funded by stolen college fund. Grandparents swoop in like avenging angels. Plot twist. Surprise real estate acquisition. Justice served with a side of sweet, sweet revenge. Am I wrong here for doing what I felt needed to be done? Now, I know what you're thinking. Alex, what are the life lessons we can take away from this family drama extravaganza? Well, my friends, here are a few nuggets of wisdom. Always read the fine print, especially when it comes to college funds. Don't underestimate the power of grandparents. Karma is real, and sometimes it comes in the form of property ownership. But perhaps the biggest lesson here is the importance of family. Not just the one you're born into, but the one that truly has your back. In my case, my grandparents turned out to be the unexpected heroes of my story. So, what's next for me? Well, I'm finishing up my degree, fully funded, thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to a future that's a lot brighter than I ever imagined. As for my parents and sister, let's just say we're all learning some valuable lessons about honesty, fairness, and the true meaning of family. And hey, if you enjoyed this roller coaster of a family saga, why not subscribe for more? Trust me, with my family, there's never a dull moment. Who knows? Maybe next time, I'll tell you about the time my uncle tried to start a llama farm in our backyard. But that's a story for another day. Until next time, this is Alex, your favorite ex-broke college student, signing off. Remember to hug your grandparents, keep an eye on your college fund, and always, always expect the unexpected. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And hey, if you've got any wild family stories of your own, drop them in the comments below. Who knows? Maybe you'll inspire my next video.
Am I wrong here for not watering my wife's plants? Hey there, plant lovers and relationship enthusiasts. I've got a thorny situation I need your help with. So picture this. I'm standing in my backyard, surrounded by my wife's beloved plants, and I'm faced with a moral dilemma that's got me feeling like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Or should I say, between a cactus and a Venus flytrap? You see, my dear wife is about to embark on a 3-week vacation, and she's asked me to water her plants while she's gone. Sounds simple, right? Well, not quite. Let me introduce you to what I lovingly call my wife's cottage industry of death. Trust me, it's not as metal as it sounds, but it's definitely as dramatic. Now, before you start thinking I'm some sort of plant-hating monster, let me give you some context. My wife and I have been married for 3 years. She's amazing in so many ways, but when it comes to gardening, well, let's just say she's got a thumb the size of Texas, and it ain't green. My wife absolutely loves gardening. The problem is she loves the idea of gardening more than the actual, gardening part. If there was a Gardening Enthusiasts Anonymous, she'd be the first to stand up and say, "Hi, I'm wife's name, and I'm terrible at keeping plants alive." I kid you not, folks, she's like the Saddam Hussein of plants. Her garden isn't so much a garden as it is _botanical dictator_ship. Plants enter full of life and hope, only to wither under her regime of neglect and misguided care. Now, you might be wondering, how hard can it be to keep a few plants alive? Well, let me tell you, it's not rocket science. We're talking about 5 to 10 minutes a day, tops. But for my wife, that's apparently as challenging as solving a Rubik's Cube while blindfolded and riding a unicycle. Up until now, we've had a sort of détente in our horticultural Cold War. I turn a blind eye to her wanton plant torture, and she doesn't rope me into her chlorophyll crimes. It's been working great. Well, until now. With this 3-week vacation looming, my wife has decided to breach our carefully negotiated plant peace treaty. She wants me to water her plants while she's gone. And folks, that's where our little green drama begins. So here's where I need your help, YouTube. I'm faced with a moral quandary that's got me more twisted than a bonsai tree. On the surface, watering these plants seems like a simple task. But let me explain why it's not that straightforward for me. You see, by watering these plants, I feel like I'm participating in some sort of twisted botanical hostage situation. These poor, innocent plants have been living under my wife's regime of neglect, and now I'm supposed to swoop in like some chlorophyll Superman, giving them a taste of proper care, only to abandon them to their leafy fate when my wife returns? It's like I'm that guy in the movies who befriends the prisoner, sneaks them some extra rations, only to wave goodbye as they're carted off to their doom. It just doesn't sit right with me, folks. Now, my wife thinks I'm being dramatic. And you know what? She's not entirely wrong. I admit I have a flair for the theatrical, especially when it comes to our little botanical battlefield. She argues that it's a simple task, that I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, or should I say, a redwood out of a seedling. Her logic is that it makes her happy, and since it doesn't really affect me, why should I care? But here's the thing, it does affect me. It affects my conscience. Am I overthinking this? Probably. But hey, that's why I'm turning to you, dear viewers, to help me sort out this tangled vine of a situation. So here we are. My wife and I have reached an impasse in our great plant debate of 2024. We've decided to turn to you, the wise sages of YouTube, to help us resolve this chlorophyll conundrum. Here's the deal. We've agreed to abide by the crowd's decision. That's right, folks. you hold the fate of these plants in your hands. No pressure or anything, but your comments could literally be the difference between life and death for these leafy prisoners. So, I'm asking you, dear viewers, am I wrong for not wanting to water her plants? Should I stand firm on my principles? Or should I just suck it up and play plant nanny for 3 weeks? Let's break down the possible scenarios here. If I do water the plants, I'll be keeping these green hostages alive, possibly even giving them a taste of what proper care feels like. But am I setting them up for disappointment when my wife returns and resumes her reign of botanical terror? On the flip side, if I refuse, am I being a bad husband? Will this plant the seeds of resentment in our relationship? Sorry, couldn't resist that pun. And let's not forget the impact on our relationship. Will this be the thorn in our side that disrupts our marital harmony? Or will it be a chance for us to grow together? Okay, I'll stop with the plant puns now. Maybe. Now, let's dig a little deeper into the ethical soil of this situation. By watering these plants, am I enabling my wife's plant neglect? Am I becoming an accomplice in her crimes against chlorophyll? There's also the question of shared responsibilities in marriage. Should I just do this simple task to keep the peace? Or is this a hill or garden bed I'm willing to die on? It's a classic case of choosing between peace and principles. Do I water the plants and maintain domestic tranquility? Or do I stand firm on my beliefs and risk turning our home into a botanical battleground? But maybe, just maybe, this isn't really about the plants at all. Perhaps this whole situation is a metaphor for our relationship dynamics. It's about compromise, about supporting each other's interests, even when we don't fully understand or agree with them. Marriage, after all, is about finding that balance between maintaining your individual identity and forming a partnership. It's about knowing when to stand your ground and when to bend like a willow in the wind. So, am I being rigid by refusing to water these plants? Or am I setting a healthy boundary? Is my wife being unreasonable in her request? Or am I the one being petty? Alright, YouTube fam, let's leaf through what we've covered. Okay, I lied about stopping the puns. We've got a wife who loves gardening, but isn't exactly Mother Nature's favorite child. We've got a husband, that's me, who's caught between being a supportive spouse and feeling like an accomplice to plant cruelty. The question remains, should I water these plants and potentially give them false hope? Or should I stand firm on my principles and let nature take its course? I need your help to cultivate a solution to this growing problem. Last pun, I promise. What do you think? Am I barking up the wrong tree here, or do I have a point? Remember, your comments will decide the fate of these plants and potentially the peace in my household. No pressure or anything. Alright folks, it's time for you to plant your flag in this debate. Okay, that really was the last one. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to subscribe for more marital misadventures and horticultural hijinks. Leave a comment below with your thoughts. Should I water the plants or not? And hey, while you're at it, share your own stories of relationship compromises or gardening disasters. Misery loves company, right? And stay tuned for our next video where we'll reveal the final decision and its aftermath. Will our marriage flourish, or will it wilt under the pressure? Only time, and your comments, will tell. Until next time, this is your boy, signing off from the front lines of the Great Plant War of 2024. Peace, love, and plenty of water to you all.
Lights, camera, family drama. Hey there, fellow rebels and drama enthusiasts, buckle up, because you're about to witness a family feud so intense, it makes the Kardashians look like the Brady Bunch. Picture this. A 28-year-old woman, yours truly, dares to follow her dreams and becomes a fashion photographer. Scandalous, right? But wait, it gets better. Not only did I choose my passion over my parents' wishes, but I also managed to turn it into a six-figure success. And just when you think the plot couldn't thicken any further, my dear old folks decided to hit me with a whopping $100,000 reparations demand. Talk about a Kodak moment gone wrong. Welcome to my life, where every family gathering feels like a reality TV show waiting to happen. I'm the rebel who traded textbooks for lenses, much to my parents' horror. But before we dive into this soap opera, let me give you a quick snapshot of how I went from being the family disappointment to a fashion photography phenom. It all started when I decided to ditch my parents' dreams of me becoming a doctor or lawyer. Because who needs a stable career when you can have anxiety-inducing freelance work? Am I right? Little did I know that my decision would lead to being disowned faster than you can say cheese at a photo shoot. But hold on to your hats, folks, because this tale of disownment, success, and family drama is about to take you on a wild ride filled with more twists and turns than a pretzel factory. So, grab your popcorn, silence your phones, unless you're watching this on one, and prepare for a story that'll make you laugh, cry, and probably call your therapist. Picture this, it's graduation day, and instead of proudly displaying my diploma, I'm sneaking out of the house with a camera bag and dreams bigger than my dad's disappointment. My parents had spent years meticulously planning my future, a prestigious medical school, a white coat, and the ability to diagnose their imaginary ailments at family dinners. But there I was, ready to trade it all for the glamorous life of a struggling artist. Because nothing says I've made it quite like eating ramen noodles for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? The conversation with my parents went something like this. Me, Mom, Dad, I've decided to become a photographer. Is this because we wouldn't let you have a pony when you were 7? Mom, where did we go wrong? And just like that, I was out on my own, armed with nothing but my camera, a dozen packets of instant noodles, and the unshakable belief that I could make it in the cutthroat world of fashion photography. Now, let me tell you, breaking into the fashion industry is about as easy as trying to squeeze into skinny jeans after Thanksgiving dinner. But I was determined. I spent countless nights perfecting my craft, watching YouTube tutorials and practicing on anyone who'd stand still long enough, including some very patient pigeons in the park. My first gigs were, let's just say, less than glamorous. I once did a photo shoot for a local cat fashion show. Yes, you heard that right. Cat fashion show. Picture me, crawling on the floor, trying to get the perfect shot of Mr. Whiskers in a bedazzled bow tie. It was in that moment, covered in cat hair and questioning my life choices, that I knew I was on the right path. But slowly, things started to change. My unique style caught the eye of a few up-and-coming designers, and before I knew it, I was shooting for actual humans in clothes that cost more than my rent. I went from "who let her in" to "darling, you simply must shoot our next campaign," faster than you can say strike a pose. Fast forward a few years, and there I was, staring at my bank account, wondering if there had been some sort of mistake. But nope, those numbers were real. I had officially hit 6 figures, and let me tell you, it felt better than finding the perfect Instagram filter on the first try. But just as I was about to pop the champagne and celebrate my success, the family drama decided to make a comeback tour. It all started at a family party, because where else do good intentions go to die? My dear, sweet, can't-keep-a-secret-to-save-her-life cousin decided to spill the beans about my newfound success. And suddenly, I was the center of attention for all the wrong reasons. Aunt Karen. 6 figures? In photography? Are you sure you're not in, adult photography? Uncle Bob. I always said she had an eye for detail. Remember when she caught me sneaking cookies at Christmas? My parents. Calculating how much money they could have made if they had supported me from the start. Just when I thought the drama had died down, I received a text that made me choke on my overpriced artisanal coffee. My parents, in all their infinite wisdom, had decided that since I was now rolling in dough, I owed them a cool $100,000 in reparations. Their reasoning? They had been forced to rely on my brother for financial support all these years because I had selfishly pursued my dreams instead of becoming their personal ATM. The audacity, the drama, the utter ridiculousness of it all. Me, you want me to pay you for following my dreams?
Well, if you had become a doctor like we wanted, we wouldn't be in this mess.
Mom.
Think of it as retroactive allowance.
Me, I think I need to go now. I suddenly feel the urge to take some very expensive self-care photos. And just like that, I found myself in the middle of a family feud that would make even Dr. Phil raise an eyebrow. Because nothing says we're a functional family quite like airing your dirty laundry on social media, right? My parents, clearly graduates from the How to Alienate Your Children in 10 Easy Steps School of Parenting, decided to take their grievances to Facebook. Our ungrateful daughter refuses to support her loving parents. After all we've done for her, bad daughter, parental struggle, where's our $100K? Not to be outdone, My aunt, bless her drama-loving heart, and I decided to clap back with our own posts. It was like a tennis match of passive-aggressive statuses, each one more cringeworthy than the last. Success is the best revenge. Unless your parents demand 100K, then success is just the beginning of a whole new set of problems. Sorry not sorry, cash me outside. Before we knew it, our family drama had gone viral. I was getting messages from strangers offering to be my new parents, and my inbox was flooded with memes about dysfunctional families. If I had known family drama could be this profitable, I would have started selling tickets to our Thanksgiving dinners years ago. So, there you have it, folks. The tale of how I went from family black sheep to fashion photography star with a side of viral family drama. Who knew that choosing aperture settings over appendectomies could lead to all this? But you know what? Despite the chaos, the ramen noodles, and the questionable cat fashion shows, I wouldn't change a thing. Well, maybe I'd change my parents' Wi-Fi password, but that's about it. Through this journey, I've learned that success is the best revenge, family drama is universal, and there's no problem so big that it can't be turned into a viral meme. Oh, and always watermark your photos. You never know when your estranged family might try to use them in their smear campaign. Now, for the twist ending you've all been waiting for. All this drama? It actually boosted my career. Turns out, nothing sells photos quite like a juicy backstory. I've been flooded with offers from clients who want that disowned daughter with a dash of scandal aesthetic. Who knew family dysfunction could be so marketable? So, to all you rebels out there dreaming of ditching the path your parents laid out for you, go for it. Chase those dreams, embrace the struggle, and who knows, you might just end up with a successful career and enough family drama to fuel a lifetime of therapy sessions. And hey, if you're enjoying this roller coaster of a life story, why not join the rebellion? Hit that subscribe button faster than my parents can say disappointment. Leave a comment with your own family drama stories. Misery loves company, after all. And don't forget to smash that like button harder than I smashed my parents' dreams of having a doctor in the family. Until next time, keep shooting for the stars, or at least for better paying clients than cat fashion shows. This is your favorite fashion photographer and family drama queen, signing off.